Hello friends, welcome to another video on Power BI interview questions. And this is a special edition of Power BI interview question where we are going to cover the next 10 interview questions. Prior to this, I have already released 66 Power BI interview questions, and this particular video will cover interview question number 61 to 70. I have released interview questions individually as well as in a combined video of 50 videos, 10 videos, and now another 10 videos. The aim is to provide you all of them in a searchable manner as well as at one place so that you can take the full advantage of them. With that, I wish you good luck for your Power BI interviews. So enjoy the next 10 questions from 61 to 70. Thank you. The next interview question which you may be asked is how to solve many-to-many relationship between facts. A many-to-many relationship can also occur between a fact and a dimension, and in that case, we have a little bit different solution. Ideally, we should not join two facts, and when we join two facts, then we will have many-to-many relationship, and that is what we would like to avoid, and that is what question for today is how to avoid many-to-many relationship. So handling many-to-many relationship between the Power BI require careful modeling and the use of common dimensions. You need to identify the dimensions and create one-to-many joins. You need to identify what are dimensions, the common thing. Usually you will be able to find date dimension because date should be there in both the tables. Then common dimensions like material or item, geography, these kind of dimension you should also be able to figure out easily. So what is the process? Identifying the common dimension. Begin by identifying the common dimension that both your fact tables shares. These dimensions act as a bridge table between the fact, bridge table or dimension table. In Power Query, you can append the columns from different tables and delete the duplicate rows to create such dimension. We can append either the columns or the set of columns and then delete duplicates to create such dimension. If the primary key is already present, then we are not bothered. Otherwise, we create an index column and then we use the merge queries to populate the index column back into the fact. Then what you have to do is once your model has been created, you have to establish a relationship between the tables. So dimension table and the fact table, and you have to make sure that you are creating no relationship between fact. Facts are only joined with dimension, and typically the joins are one-to-many single directional. But if you remember, we have discussed a case where the fact and the dimension has a many-to-many relationship. In such cases, we create an intermediate bridge table, and in that bridge table, when we do create a bidirectional relationship between the bridge table and the dimension table. So bridge table would join both on the one side, but on the bridge table, we create bidirectional. Back to the bridge table, bidirectional, and bridge table to dimension table, again bidirectional, one-to-many relationships would be created. So that's a different case. Now, how to create the tables? Power Query way I just told you, but in case of DAX, how do you do? So one of the ways is if it is a single column, you say take distinct of both the tables and then union them and again take a distinct because both the tables can have same thing. If it is a multi-column like the second example, which is distinct union, so there we can use summarize item and item name both has been taken inside the summarize, and then from other table it is also coming. Then we take then a union and then distinct. You can have different dimensions which are defined, and then based on that you can create the joins. So what we are going to do is we are going to take one example, and today we are going to do this solution using the DAX. But I have given blogs, and on the channel there are videos both using Power Query as well as the DAX. The solution has already been provided on the channel. For today's example, let me jump onto the Power BI. I am on the Power BI, and here I wanted to bring a file, and the file I wanted to bring is the sales purchase file, and again that is available on my GitHub account. On GitHub account, this is my sales purchase file. I'll give you the link into the description. You go here, right click on the raw, copy link. Once you get the link, go back to the Power BI, and there you say get data, and we have to get the web data. It is also known as web API if you are using the data flows, and once you click on that, it should detect the tables. So as you can see here, we have a sales and purchase. It already have a category table, but I'm not going to bring in assuming we don't have a category table. So we have a sales table which has sales date is amount and category, purchase has purchase date is amount and category, and we will load this. What is happening here is basically you have a sales table, you have a purchase table, but you don't have a common dimension. So what would you do? Can I join category to category? If I join category to category, it's going to create a many-to-many join. And this is what you don't want because these are dimensions. What we are going to do is we are going to delete it. Here we have a very simple case because we have only a numeric category dimension. So I can simply create it. And then I have a dates. Both are named as sales date. So I can create a date table using the calendar function. So to create a date table inside the data model view, we have this new table option now, and we are going to use that to create it. I'm going to use the calendar function. And on the calendar function, what I can do is I can start with the date. 2018,01,01 to date of 2022,01,01. Date or the calendar table has been created. If needed, we can modify it later to have better dates suitable for both the tables. Now let's try to create relationship between these tables. So now I created the date using the calendar table. Now let me join it. So once I join it, it suggests me one-to-one join. I don't want one join. Even if it is one-to-one join, go and make your date table on the one side and the sales table and the purchase table on many side. Create a one-to-many single directional join. Same way with the purchase table, go and create one-to-many single directional join. Date is on the one side. My join with the date table is complete. Now I want to have a category table. The category table, I only have the IDs. So again, I'm going to create a new table. So on the home tab menu, I'm able to see new table in here and I'm going to click on that. So we will call it category table, and in the category table, we will use first of all distinct from table 1, which is my sales category. And then I want to union this with the purchase. So now let me put the union function. Now let me also make it bigger by pressing Ctrl and middle mouse button so you can see it. So one is already done. So distinct of category, and I'm doing a union of that. And then let me again put distinct along with the purchase category. So now the union, we can do distinct of both sales category and purchase category. But if the categories are available in both the tables, now still we will have duplicates. So again, we'll put one more distinct. Now we will go ahead and put another distinct, and we got a category table now. Now if you have multiple, you can use summarize and then again put a distinct. Now join this category with the category of sales table. Again, we have to make sure that we are doing a one-to-many single directional join. And again, we are going to do with the purchase table one-to-many single directional join. So now this is complete. Now if you remember, I have created the date table using calendar and not checked out whether this table is sufficient or not. So to check that sufficiency, what we can do is bring the date table and bring any countable amount from the sales table, convert this into a table. There should not be any null value. So we are seeing null value, it means we are missing. Also bring the purchase amount from the purchase table. Again, convert it into table. As you can see, there is some data missing. It means there are date missing. So what happens in such cases when we create calendar table, the dates could be missing. As you can see, if you sort ascending, is from 2015, and if you do sort descending, 2019. And purchase is from 2014 actually, or descending 19. 14 to 19 and 15 to 19 we have the data. So that is why our date table is not sufficient. I'm going to move this date table to 2014, starting from 2014. And now if I go back, as you can see, now there is no blank rows. It means our date table is sufficient. Now let's put a second visual. Take category from the category table. Take purchase amount from purchase table. And take sales amount from the sales table. Convert it into a table visual. And as you can see, the data is not showing any blank. Anyways, we have taken distinct value from both the tables, so it should not count that. The amounts are distributed properly, which shows there is join between the two tables, correctly done. So in this manner, both the fact tables are now joined with the common dimension, and along with the common dimension, we are able to analyze, and we can bring them together. Like we can bring in date and category together. Now in the date table, once we have month, year and quarter, we can have month, year, quarter and date also coming together. So that is also possible. So basically you can have one visual where you have the dates, create a trend out of it. And in that trend, what we can do is we can have, let's say, purchase amount. And then I can bring in categories as the legend. And you will see that, the category wise this is. Like maybe we converted this in tagged bar. You can see on every date we have this bar. In this manner, you can actually get the data from the two fact table using the common dimensions. And if common dimensions are not there, they can be created either at the source. If you are using, let's say, a warehouse, which is there in the SQL, or you can do it in Power Query, or you can do it in DAX. So I have shown you in detail how to tackle this kind of a problem. So make sure, even if you are not asked to solve these kind of problem, you have been just asked to give what is the solution, you tell the correct solution to the interviewer. So why don't you go ahead and try this question out? The next Power BI interview question which you will be asked is how to get distinct count of two columns. So what we want to know here is how do you take distinct count of two columns? And what we want here is these two columns should be from two different tables. So basically I have an item table and I have geography table. These are two different dimensions joined with the sales table. How do I get that what is the distinct combination of those columns is available with me? So how to do that? So the answer is the Power BI allows you to calculate distinct combination of two columns by using DAX function summarize in calculation, or by concatenating the two columns into the calculate column and then use distinct count function in the calculation. So the easiest way is distinct count function. You say summarize. You have to take the center table if they are coming from dimension. Both of them are in this case coming from dimension, item, brand, and geography. If they are coming from the same table, you can take that particular table. If they are from, let's say, geography table, both of them, instead of taking the sales or the center fact table, you could have taken geography table. But in this case, I'm taking the center fact table. In the table expression and in the group by sections, I am taking item, brand, and geography state. And I'm using summarize, which is going to give me distinct values of item, brand, and geography state. And then I'm counting that to get the overall distinct counts. Here I'm using count rows and summarize to get my distinct count. Now let us see this in action on Power BI desktop. I'm on Power BI desktop now. Here I'm going to add a new tab. This new tab I'm going to call Q62 question 62. I'm going to add brand from item and geography state. And I want to know what is the distinct combination count, and that too what is available inside my fact. Means when I put anything from the fact, let's say gross. Now gross doesn't have any filter as of now. It's not going to filter the data. It's just going to ensure that the distinct combination where the sales data is present is available. Now what is the count of that distinct combination of brand and state I want it to. For that I'm going to create a measure. To create a measure right now, I can see new measure option under the home tab. I click on that and let's name it as distinct count of 2, and we will use count rows. Let me make it a little bit bigger so that you can see it. Count rows, summarize. Here the sales is my center table, sales, comma, item, brand is in my visual. That's what I want here. And then I need next column, which is geography state. How does summarize function work? So summarize functions take argument at a table and then group bys. And then later on, we can also use the combination of name expression to give the measures or the calculation, which can ultimately result in something which is very similar to measures, or a calculation which can get summarized on these group bys. So group bys and the name expression and those expressions should give the data based on these group bys. So then that's where we need aggregation or we need measures. Geography state. I'm going to close summarize. I'm going to close count rows also. Press enter. It created a new measure. Let me bring that into the visualization. And grand total of the visualization is 442. And even if I put it on a card visual, it should show me the same number. Yes, it is showing me the same number, 442 on a card visual also. It means I'm getting the correct values of the combination. And if you want to validate, maybe you have to download it in an Excel sheet and validate it. If you want to get distinct count of more than one column, this is one of the options which you have. And sometimes we use values and count rows and summarize and count rows in place of distinct count because it may provide us a better performance. So that is another thing you can go ahead and explore out. So this is how you're going to answer this question. So go ahead and try this out. The next question which you may be asked is, I have a visual on which brand is on category axis and net measure is on the value axis. I would like to add the city column on the tooltip, but there is multiple cities. How can I show all the city values on the tooltip? So what happens is when you put a categorical variable on a tooltip, usually it shows the first or the last value. But I want to show all the values. So how can you do that? So one of the things which will come to your mind is that I can give a tooltip page. Yes, that's the solution. What happens if the person doesn't want the tooltip page? Then how would you do that? So for that, what you can do is you can create a measure which actually concatenates these cities. So the answer you will be giving is that for that, I will concatenate the values of the city in a measure and I will use that measure as a tooltip. So concatenate x is the function you can use. Value city as the first argument, or the table would be the first argument. Value city is going to ensure the distinct cities. Then you give the column which you want to be concatenated. Concatenation separator, which is comma space in this case. And then in case you want to give an order by, you can have again one more argument. So in this manner, you can solve this problem. So let me showcase you this on the Power BI desktop. So let's jump onto the Power BI desktop. I'm on the Power BI desktop, and for this question, let me create a page Q63. And here I'll add a brand wise visual, item, brand. Let me have net on this. Now in this visual, right now you're seeing only brand and net. Let's say I want city on the tooltip. So I'll go to the geography table, and from there I'll drag city on the tooltip. So I'll scroll down and I'll get a tooltip option in the visual. From the geography table, I can drag city on the tooltip. Let me do that. And as you can see, it is showing the first city. So you can click on this arrow, and after that you can use the summarization as first, last, count or distinct count. But we don't need this. We actually need all the cities. Right now, when you hover over it, you see only one city. I want to see all the cities. So for that, let's go ahead and create a measure. I'll go and click on the measure table which I have, and I can see the table tool. And inside the table tool also I have an option for measures. So I can create new measure using the new measure option inside the table tool. If we click on that, I'll call it, let's say, all cities, concatenate X, values, geography city is the expression. So syntax here is basically a table where I've given value city for distinct expression, the one which I want to concatenate, delimiter, and the order by expression. So let's continue. So value geography city, expression is geography city, delimiter is comma space, and order by is again geography city. Let's try this out. Now I got all the cities. I would like to add that into the tooltip. So let me remove the old one, drag the all cities to tooltip, and now just check it out. As you can see, I'm getting all the cities. And because most of my brands are sold on all the cities, you're seeing this. But if you want to differentiate, what you can do is, let's bring in state in place of brand here. Remove the brand and bring in state here. And now you will see there are different cities you're getting for each state. So in this manner, you can create a concatenated tooltip whenever you want to show multiple values instead of first and last. So in this manner, you can attempt this question. The next question which you may be asked is, how do I sort a column of a matrix visual in Power BI in descending order? So basically I have a column which is, let's say, month year, and now month year usually is ascending sort, and that too we do it by using a sort column. I want to do a descending sort. So in matrix visual, a column field usually sort itself ascending or based on the sort column, and we want to change this behavior. Now to do this, there is no built-in option. So I don't have something where I can go ahead and say option where I can do sort descending. In case of matrix visual, we don't have many options for changing the sorting on the column fields, whether it is the order in which we wanted to sort or the columns which we wanted to choose for the sorting. So we have to do a little trick to do the descending sort. Now to do that, what you have to do is, we have to change the sorting of month year column to descending using a month year sort column using the feature known as sort by column. Usually we create a rank function, basically the descending rank on the month year sort column. So usually we sort month year on the month year sort column. We create a descending rank and we start sorting using that column. But what that means is you will end up losing the ascending sort on the month year. What we can do is we can add a new column, month year 1, let's say, just to month year, and then we can create a sort on the month year sort. This is the additional code, assuming that you already have a table. So you can create a rank on the existing table code, which I'm going to showcase you, and then month year and descending. And that's because even if it repeats, we want next rank to be the continuous rank. You have to mark month year sort descending column as the sort column for month year 1 column. And then you have to use month year 1 column in your visualization to make sure that you are sorting descending on month year column. So what I will do here is I will take you through Power BI and explain you what is the question, how you are going to solve it. So let me jump out of the Power BI, and I'm on the interview question files which I'm using regularly. And you can also find this file on my GitHub account. So let me add a page. Let me call this page as Q64. And on this page, first of all, let me add a matrix visual from the builder visual, and let me add category on the rows, month year from the date on the columns, and I would need a measure which I'm going to use net as values. As you can see, the data is ascending sort on the columns, and this is what we were talking about. You can see here November, December, January in the ascending order, it is sort. If I go to the 3 dots, sort by category and next, so there is nothing for this month year column. I want the month year field on the metric column to have descending sort. How can I do that? So what I'll do is I'll go to my date table, click on my date table, and as you can see inside this code of the date table, this month year and month year sort. And if I go to the column tools by clicking on a column month year, if I look at the sort by column, you can see month year is sorted on month year sort column. If I only create the sort descending column using the rank and use it on month year column, I lose the ascending sort. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do little bit of modification as I've shown the code before. So first let's put this entire table into a variable. Instead of returning this table, let's in the date table, I'll now create var underscore tab equals to this thing, equal to the add column. So this is my current code. And then I would like to return this. When I return this, I can use add columns underscore tab, means whatever is there in the table as a variable tab, get that. Then I need a new column, which is month year 1 or month year, whatever you call, let me call it month year 1, which is equal to month year. Now I got all the columns which I created in the previous variable tab table. Whatever things I have created, I'll be able to use those. So I'm able to use this month here. I will also be able to use the month year sort. So I can create here is a month year sort 1 or month year sort descending also I can call ESC. How do I sort it? For that I'll use rank X. Now rank X, first argument we need a table, second argument expression, third argument we can leave. Argument would be the order by column because we are creating a column name, so order by column, and then type skip or dense. So rank X is there, and the syntax of the rank X is first we need to give the table, the expression on which the sorting is going to happen. Third argument we are going to leave order by of that expression, ascending or descending, the type skip or dense. That is what we need. So let's go ahead and give it. So table is underscore tab in this case. The column which we want is month year sort, and month year sort is already giving the sorting, ascending order sorting. Now we want descending, so we will use this because this is the numeric column which can provide us the sort. We are going to leave the values descending, so we want now to create descending sort, and then we want to get the continuous rank even if there is a repetition in the ranks. This formula is completed, and let's close the add columns, press enter. We get 2 columns, and just to take you to the data view to see these values, that would give you a little bit better idea. If I go to my date table now, you can see I have a month year 1 and month year sort column, which is descending sort. Previously, I have month year and month year sort, which I was using. Now click on the month year column, and you will see the column tools on the top. Inside that, go to sort by column, click on that, and sort it by month year sort. After it is sorted, you can go back to your visualization layer, and in the visualization layer, in the matrix visual, I'll click on the arrow of month year and choose month year 1 column into the visualization. Now you can observe the descending sort order starting from November 2021, October, September, August, July, June 2021, and so on. So if you have a visual where you don't have an option to sort a column, you can use a column which is already sorted in the order which you want in that particular visualization, and the column of the matrix visual is just one example of that. In this manner, you can answer this question. So the next question which you may be asked is there a way to set a date slicer that always shows today's date or the current month? Basically, what happens in Power BI, we want to default our slicer to, let's say, today or to this month or this quarter or this year. Power BI do not have any functionality to default the slicer using measure. We have something known as a pre-selected slicer. You can do that, which you can try out. But usual slicer doesn't do that. As of now, when we are recording this video, Power BI slicer does not have an option to default it using a measure. So what you have to do is you have to add additional columns, static columns in your table that will default it on today or on this month. So let's say I can create a column is today, which if date equals to today, then today as a date. And then I'm appending double quotes because it will become text. It will create a new column which will having value today for the today's date. Otherwise, it will have a date value, and all these values are text values. And then I can use this in slicer. I can mark date as a sort column for this one, or I can mark a column which is derived from date to become the sort column for this one, because if I create a column directly from a date column, it cannot be sorted on the date column. So I can sort it on a column, and then it will sort the dates, though the dates are in a different form. Similar fashion, what you can do is you can default current month, create a month type, where you can say if the current month's end date is equal to the end date of today, and that's where we will be able to push all the dates of the month on a single date, and that single date we can compare with today's month and date, then it is current month. Otherwise, you can format date into a month year format, or you can use a month year column. This column also need to be sorted on a month year sort column to work perfectly fine. So in this manner, you will be able to save now your slicer on today or current month. So it is not that I'm going to still get the current month's date or today's date. We will not be able to see that. You might have to use label for that. You might have to use, a card, or you might have to use a text box to showcase that today's value. But this will at least make sure that you don't have to change your slicer every day or every month just because you want to see current month's value or today's value. Same is applicable for yesterday, last month and date, this month, next month, quarter, year, whatever you want, you can do it using the same method. So let's go ahead to the Power BI desktop and try this out. So I'm here on the Power BI desktop. Let me add a page to 65. If today I bring in month here and I create it as a slicer, so whatever I select will remain, can be used as default value. And if I go to the properties of this slicer, I don't have any option in the visual properties also to default the slicer to a value. I cannot default it. Let's add one more slicer, the date slicer, onto the page and create a list of dates and try to default it to a value. Let us see, do we have an option for that? Let's change this to a slicer and to a list slicer, and there you will be able to see that I do not have any properties inside my slicer to default it to a date like today. So let's try adding new columns for that. So what I can do here is I can go add new column to my date table. What are those new columns? So I want column which contains today, and I want a column which contains this month. So let's call it date 1, and what I'm going to do here is if the date is equals to today, then today has date ampersand double quote, close the parenthesis. Now because I want to sort, let me duplicate the date column as date sort so that I don't get the circular dependency error. So date sort is nothing but date. I can now sort it on date sort, because both are derived from the date, so I can sort. Let me also add the column for month here 1 or month year type. So month year type is if EO month, end of month of date, comma 0. So if EO month of date means current month end date equals to the EO month of today, and that to 0 means whatever is today in that month end date, and then we will call it current month if it matches, as we will use whatever we have in the month here, and we can create this column. We need to adjust the sorting of these columns. So let me first of all showcase you these columns in the data view. So this is my date 1, and date 1 will contain today also. Depends on whether I have today's date or not. I don't have today's month or date, so I need to extend my calendar till 2025 to do that. Let me extend it. I can extend it till 2024 also, looking at the current date, but I'm extending it till 2025. Now date 1 should have today. So let me search it. So it has today, as you can see. And similarly, I will have this month in my month year. As I scroll down, you can see current month value in my month year type column. So I will sort the date 1 on the date sort. So I'll go to the column tools, and there I have the sort by column option. I'll use that and I'll sort it on date sort. Now I'll go to the month year type, and I can sort this month year type on month year sort only because it's not dependent on month year sort, so I can sort it. So let's go back to our visualization layer. So first of all, let me change the month year column to month year type column. And once I change it to month year type column, I can go ahead and choose the current month and save on this. So now what would happen is it will always be on current month, and whenever I open it will show me data for current month. There are very rare chances that I will have current month as well as date, but in case of date you will see today, and you will be able to initialize that. So let's go and change the date column also. Use the date 1 column. Now date 1 has today, and I can initialize it on today. Now because I'm using both the slicer on the same page, that's why the behavior is that it is filtering current month, and this is only showing me the today's month. But you will have them on different pages, and then they will not filter each other, or even if there is a case where they filter each other, you can use them as per need. So in this manner, now you know that how you are going to initialize the month slicer on current month, or last month, current or quarter on this quarter, last quarter, year on this year, last year, same way date on today, yesterday, next day, or last month and date. All these combinations you can drive out. So go ahead and try this out, and in this manner you can answer this interview question. The next question which you may be asked is, how can I change the theme in Power BI? So first of all, what is theme in Power BI? In Power BI, the Power BI themes are the collection of colors, font, and other design elements that can be applied reports and dashboards in order to create consistent look and feel. So what happens when you create a report? You don't want everyone to change the font and the color at the visual level. You want certain colors, the top 10 colors, the color for sentiments, etc. to be consistent across the organization. So what you do is you create the font and the color based on the organization standard and you save those as a theme. So theme is that collection of color and fonts which you are using for your organization and you want it to be used across the organization. That's why you create a theme. The use of theme can enhance the visual appeal and readability of the reports and dashboards. So basically it's going to improve your reports and dashboard readability. That's why you use it. Now the question remains same. How can we change it? Now to change it, if you're working on Power BI desktop, navigate to the top ribbon. There you have a view menu. When you go to the view menu, you will be able to see themes on the left top. There is a down arrow key button. If you press that down arrow key button, you will be further able to see more themes. You can choose from the themes which are given into the Power BI, the already available themes, or you can customize the current theme. There is an option below to customize the current theme and you can use that. Now, once you customize, you can save that theme to be used in other reports. So you can save that. And if you have saved the theme, there is an option to browse the theme to get an existing theme into your Power BI desktop report or Power BI report. What we are going to do here is we understood what it is. Now we are going to go to the Power BI desktop and check out where is this theme option. I'm here on my Power BI desktop and if you look at the top menu, I have a view option here in the ribbon. And let me click on the view option to start seeing the themes here. There's the down arrow key button which I can press and see additional themes. So these are some already existing built-in themes from Power BI. If you want, you can use those or you can browse any existing theme if you have already saved one. You can go to the online theme gallery and get some ideas for new themes. You can customize the current theme, means you can choose the colors, you can choose the font for various elements and save it. Now to save it, you have the save current theme option. So first you create a theme, apply it in the current file, then you save it. Then you again use browse for theme option in other reports to use that themes. So to understand this example a little better, we have to change the theme and understand what happens. For that, I have already created this Q66 page. And while the view tab is already open, I can click on any one of the existing themes which are quickly visible and you can see the changes which are happening. I can press the down arrow key into the themes option and can go and choose a little different theme. Now this is all about existing theme which are available with Power BI. What happens if I want a custom theme for my organization which is not matching these themes? So again, click on this down arrow key, choose the nearest matching theme. Let's say I want this darker theme. I choose this. Now go back to the down arrow key, click on the customize current theme. I have a detailed video which explains what all these elements are and what is the impact of changing these. Now here, inside this theme pop-up, you can change the colors, and just to know that we are doing some changes, I'm going to change this color a little bit so that we can identify, okay, we have done some changes. I will just showcase you what all things that we have. So we have an advanced option where we can decide these first element, second element, third element, fourth element, background element, secondary background element, etc. What are the meaning of that? You can get from learn more. Same with text, the general text, the title text, the card and the KPI, the tab headers. You can decide font family, font size and font color for all of them. Visuals, background, border, header, tooltip, etc. For the page level, wallpaper and background color and transparency. Filter pane, you can decide the background color, transparency, font and icon color, title and size, header font size, checkbox apply color. We have available filter cards where we can choose background color, transparency, font and icon color, font size. Applied filter cards where we can choose background color, transparency, font and icon color, font size, etc. Just for the showcase purpose, I can go ahead and increase the title size a little bit. Let me make it 17. The color I can make little, let me choose some yellow color or something. And click on apply. You can see the first color has changed, the title color has changed. It means this is how the current theme has been customized and this is what I can use now. So maybe this is the theme which I want for my organization. I want to use it in other reports also. To do that, let me first save it. So the view, theme menu, down arrow key, save current theme, and let me give it a name to it. So let me call it as dark theme e7.json. Click on save. My theme is saved. I can go to the other files and retrieve it. Just for showcasing purpose, right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in some other theme. So view menu, theme option, browse for themes, and let me choose some other theme other than the existing one. So let me choose dark theme E2. Open. It will load the theme and give me a message. So the theme has been applied and now I got the message also, file successfully added. Your custom report theme is in use. So in this manner, I'm successfully able to customize the theme and apply it. Any organization, when you do your Power BI project, the first thing is to finalize on the theme. The colors, the font size, the font which you wanted to use all need to be standardized, and that is the same thing you should be using across. So go ahead and try this out. The next question which you may be asked is, how can I add a constant or an average line in my visual? So I want to add a constant line or an average line or a min line or a max line. These kind of questions can be asked. Now to add that, you have to use the format pane. Now inside the format pane, previously we had an option for, analytics pane, which we were using. This format pane has undergone changes over last 1.5 years, a lot of changes. And now you are going to get it inside the format pane, reference lines. So previously there was a separate analytics pane where you are going to get it. Now there is only reference line within the format pane properties. I'm going to showcase you that, then you are going to get it. How you are going to do it? First of all, select the visual on which you want to add a constant line or an average line. Inside the visualization format pane, you have to search for the reference line, and inside that reference line, add the line, and then you can choose the line which is basically the constant line or the average line. The advantage of the constant line is that you can also use a measure on top of it. So you can choose a measure and that measure can decide a constant line. That's the advantage. So I'm going to showcase you this quickly on Power BI desktop. Please remember, I'm doing on the latest version at the time of recording, which is November 2024. If you're watching it a little later or you're using a little earlier version or little later version, the things may be a little different. But yes, the option would be lying somewhere in the format pane. So now I'm on the Power BI desktop. And to showcase you this question, let me do one thing. Let me duplicate the page Q66, make it as Q67, which is our question for the day. So I renamed it as Q67. So let me click on the visual which I wanted to change. I am already able to see my format pane. If you don't see, you have an option here on the format pane. And under the view, you have option what all you wanted to show. So if it is not even available on the right hand side, then you have to choose from the view format pane. Look at these settings. So now we have the format pane. Previously it was part of the visualization pane. In this pane there was an option additionally. This was known as visualization pane. So some of you are a little earlier version, you can have that. And if you further go down, you will see this option reference line. Open it. Now you have an add line option. In the older version, little different, but you have the similar option. Click on plus, you will add a line. Now you can give this line as a name, let's say average line, AVG line. Then choose a line type, you can choose average line. Now once you choose the average line, you can choose a series for which you want the average. Right now I only have one series, so I can choose that only. Now then I can have transparency if I want. Then I have line dashed or solid. This is the option I have. I can increase the width, or I can have in front or behind. So I can bring it in front and I can change color a little differently so that I can see it. And then the data label, if you switch on the data label, it will going to show the value of that average here. The data label also have a position, as you might have realized, that's not visible on the left hand side. So you have a position left or right. When you make it right, you will be able to see it. Above or under, so I can make it under. The color of the data label, display unit, you can change the display unit at this level. And this is one of the recent enhancements where we have all these so many properties for each and every element has its own property which you can change. So because of that, you are getting all these properties. Now I have added every line. I can also add a constant line. So let me go ahead on the top reference line again and add one more line. Once I add one more line, I can click on that particular line and let me call it constant line. I can choose a type, that's a constant line. The name doesn't matter anything. Now you see in the value here, I have an option now in the line, a value option. And here I can choose FX, means I can choose a measure. So I can decide if I have a measure, I can use that. But right now I don't have a measure. So what I can do is I can have a constant line of 500,000. Again, color, transparency, line type, width, position, and data label. All these options are available. Why do we use variable in the constant? Now, to give that example, let me do one thing. Let me make this visual a little shorter and let me add a scatter visual. I add the scatter visual. Now, if you remember, the scatter visual can take the measures on the axis. So discount and margin, I'm taking on the axis. And inside the value, I take city on the geography. The data would be distributed on cities. Now here I need the lines, but I don't need the constant line. I don't know what is my average discount, overall average discount or overall average margin. So to overcome that, what you're going to do here is when you go to the reference line, you will choose add line and let's call it average disc or discount. Choose the line, x-axis constant line or y-axis. So discount is on x-axis, so x-axis constant line. Now, if I go to the value, it's 0 right now. I click on fx and I go and choose the same measure again. So I'll choose the discount measure here. So what happens when I choose the measure, it takes the overall grand total values and I'm going to put the line exactly where the overall average is there. It's basically the formula of division will happen at the grand total level and that's where I'm going to get them. Again, if you want, you can change the color so that it is visible. I need same thing for the y-axis. So I have to add another line. And this time I can call it average margin. And this is not simple average. This is actually the calculation again happening at the grand total level. A divided by B calculation is there actually. And this is y-axis constant line. Again, the default value is 0. I can give a value, but that's not going to be the value which I wanted. If I filter it, the value should change, isn't it? The discount should change, the margin should change, the line should change for the discount and margin if in case I'm filtering out something because I may not have the same average. So let me click on FX. And once I click on the FX and I get a pop-up, I can now choose margin from my measures. And now you will get one more line into the middle. And now you can see those all 4 quadrants. You can play around with the colors, transparency, line style, width, position, etc. as per the need. But this is how you add the line. And this is why the constant line is so important because it allows you to give measure. But you do have some different line types, which is basically here you can see you have min line, max line, median line and percentage line. You can use any one of these also as per your requirement. These are different kind of reference line you can add to your visual. So you can go ahead and try them out. The next question which you may be asked is, what is the report tooltip page or what is the tooltip page? Now what happens in Power BI on the visuals you get a tooltip. Or that tooltip is like a text tooltip where you get the measure and the value. If you want, you can add additional values. You can add the measures into the tooltip and you will get the additional values. Now, but if someone asks you that I want to see a chart on the tooltip, then that's not possible using that particular tooltip. You have to use a page there. So we have a page type which is tooltip which we can use and that page can be used as a tooltip and that will appear on the tooltip once we do that setup. So let's go to the definition. The tooltip page in the Power BI reports is like a separate page in the report which appears when user hover over the visual. It gives more details about the data in the visual. You can use it to explain the data in more depth or add interactive chart. Power BI allows you to customize the tooltip that appears when you hover over the data rather than sticking with a default pop-up page. How to create a report tooltip page? Let's understand that. So create a new page and set up the type as tooltip. Now this option again is part of the format pane and format pane has undergone few changes over a period of time. So there are little different options which are there over a period of time, but you should be able to get how to make page as a tooltip page. Then add the content to the page. Now go back to the page and the visual where you wanted to show this as a tooltip page. Now in the visual, you have to go to the format pane, either general or the properties, depending on the version of the Power BI you are using. You have to turn on the tooltip and there you have to choose the page which you have created in the tooltip page. So in this manner, you will be able to use a page on the tooltip of a visual. So let's try that out. For that, let me jump out of the Power BI. I'm here on the Power BI desktop. I already have a page Q66 where I have a visual on which I can add a tooltip page. So right now if I go, it is showing me the basic tooltip. This is brand and this is the net value. These are the two things which is available in this visual. Now I would like to show a category wise chart whenever I hover over here. How can I do that? So let me add a new page and let me call it Q68. This is the question 68 for which we are doing. So Q68, I can also call it Q68 tooltip, but for the time being, let me call it as Q68. On this new page, go to the format. So make sure the format is available here. If not, you can enable it from the right hand side pane. If not, under the view tab, you have the option format. Enable it from there. Now inside the format, you go to the page information, and inside the page information, you can change the type as tooltip. Once you change the type as tooltip, so then you have this keep all filters. Keep all filters means all the filter will be passed. If you disable it, not everything would be passed. Then what you can do is whatever you wanted to pass, you can add that to the show tooltip on, means based on that only the filtering will happen. So you can do that. Now here you got this page size. Now this is a little smaller page size, as you can see here. What I can do here is basically I can create a visual here. So I can create a category wise chart here. Category wise net. Then I can convert it into a pie visual, let's say. I can do some adjustment. I can do the name adjustment and everything if I want. Now if I go back to Q66, I come to this page and now I want to show it. It will not show automatically. What I need to do here is I need to click on this visual. Go to the properties. Switch on the tooltip, which is right now switched on already. Choose report page. Right now it is auto. Auto means it's going to show the default tooltip. Go ahead and select a page, Q68. Page is appearing because we have marked it as a tooltip page. Now if you hover, it starts showing that tooltip. If you don't want to pass all the filter, let's say you have brand and category here in this visual and you don't want to pass the category, then we have to do some adjustment. So let's add category to this visual. Let's add category. Now here, if you see, it's going to show single category because it's passing on the category. But what happens if I don't want to pass that? Then you have to go here and then drag brand into the show tooltip on and switch off keep all filters. So we have switched off keep all filter. We want it on brand. Now go back to the 66. Over here. Now you can see that you are getting multiple categories. It is not coming because of categories. It's coming because of brand. So now we are not passing category from here. We are only passing brand. So we have done that change. The question may be asked on this property itself, that how do you control what is getting passed to a tooltip? This is also an important question to remember. So go ahead and try this out. I have another video on the tooltip, which I've shown all these things in detail. So you can also refer to that. I will provide link into the description. The another question which you may be asked is, what is drill through in Power BI? What happens in Power BI that, let's say you have a master report, which is at little higher level, and you want to showcase the details of that master report. Or let's say there is a visual which is very high level, you want to show the details of. How do you go to the details of that visual? Along with all the filters and on the line on which you are going to click, those all values should get passed. So such feature which allows you to go to another page along with the line values, specifically the categorical values and all those filter values, is known as drill. So drill through features in Power BI allows user to navigate from one report page to another, focusing on specific details associated with the data. It allows deeper analysis by providing a way to view detailed information without clogging up the main report. You don't have to put everything into your main report. You can have the higher level detail and then you can drill down, and then it also allows you to filter the information when you are drilling down. You don't have to look at, millions of rows. So you select a, let's say, product or a category or a combination of product, category or users, and then drill down so that, there is a guided method to this information. Drill through configuration. Power BI user can designate certain fields within their dataset as drill through fields, and these fields typically contains the information that users are interested in exploring further, such as brand, category, item. So on the page, you have to specify on what columns or what categorical variables you are going to drill through. And when you go to the visuals, so this is in the setting of the page which happens. In the setting of the page, you can specify what columns you wanted to drill through on one particular page. And that page is going to become the drill through page on which you are going to land. On the other pages, on the visuals, let's say if you have added brand there or category there, now on the brand or category, when they are available in the visual, you will be able to see an option for drill through. And that drill through is basically you're going to use. So we are going to try this out on Power BI, but just wanted to tell you that you have drill through, partial drill through, you have drill through buttons also now. So this feature is a little big. I will try to cover few of them in this video. I'll also give you the link of a detailed video done on this already on my channel. So you can also refer to that. So let's jump onto the Power BI desktop. So I'm here on the Power BI desktop, and for this question, let me add another page and let me call it D69. First of all, what I want here is basically, I want to create this page as a drill through page. But I need a page from where I wanted to, and I need a visual there. So I already have a page Q66. And on this page Q66, I actually have a brand and category visual. And we are going to play around with this visual a little bit. So what we can do is basically here is, let's go ahead and duplicate this visual now. And when I'll give you file, then you might see that, when I answer the question 66, I have one visual. Why does it become two? Because when we came to question 69, we actually changed a little bit. On this visual, what I'm going to do here is, I'm going to only keep brand. Now we have two visual, one visual on category, one visual on brand. And from both the visual, we want to drill and pass the information to another detailed report, which we are going to create on D60. So let's create a report on D69. Instead of Q, I'm calling it D69. We'll create a table visual. We'll have brand, category, item, name, and we can have net and gross here. Net, gross, margin, percent, pounds also. Let me convert this into a table visual. And name is first. Let me first move the category, and I want name to be third. So brand, category, name. Now I want to drill on this page from other pages. So I clicked on the empty space, and let me open the format or the properties of this page. I go to the page information, and there I'll use the page type, and the page type is drill through. Once I do that, keep all the filters. Keep all the filters means whatever filters are there, whether they're part of this drill through from or not, everything is going to be passed. Now, if you uncheck this, whatever is part of the drill through, only that will be passed. So that is what we do the partial drill through. If you enable the cross report, you will be able to drill across reports. Now, this is within the report. We are doing, but you can do a cross report also. Now, next thing which we want to do here is basically let's add something. So we want to drill from brand. So first example, we add brand here. So I did a brand here. Now let's go to the Q66, and in Q66, when I right click on this visual, which is net by brand, you can see that I have a drill through filter on brand. I will drill using brand 8. Now on this drill through page, you can see there is a filter of brand 8 already applied on the page. I automatically gets a button go back. I have not done any addition for that. I automatically got it. So this is the feature what we call drill through. So what we have done here is we have created drill through, and we have drilled through on another page. This is drill through. When you go to the other visual, now this visual have brand and category, but because it has brand, when you right click, you can still see drill through D60. Is it going to drill only brand or brand plus category? So let's drill through and see what happens. It passes both brand and category. Why passing both? Because what we have used is keep all filters. So it doesn't matter what you give from drill through. This will be used to show that menu item, but it still passes all the filters. So that is the role of that one. Again, you can click back on the button, and please remember on Power BI desktop, you have to use control click on any button. If you are on Power BI service, you can use just click. Similarly, there is a drill through button also. Any button can be made drill through. So you can go to insert, and there you can have a button. If you see here, there are quite a few kind of buttons. I did a blank button. So I added a blank button, and I put it on my visual, and I go to the button style, and in the button style, enable the text, and I write down drill through there. Drill through buttons, I have just written the text. It is not drill through. You have to go to the actions, and action is going to tell you which kind of button it is. So switch on the action and choose a type, and type is drill through. When you choose a type drill through, it asks for a destination, and you can see there is an FX button with the destination. It means you can dynamically decide based on a measure which drill through destination you want. Means I can switch the pages based on a measure. But right now I don't want to showcase that. So I'm going to simply choose a static page, and only page where I have drill through enabled right now is D69 because we have given some values. If you click on any of the brand, let's say if I click on this and button is not belonging to that visual, I clicked on the brand on the second visual, you can see the drill through button is enabled. Now control click, and you see I am able to pass on the values of brand 8 to another page. I'm able to drill through and see the detailed information. Now let's go back, control click on the back button. Now what I would like to do here is, I want to click on this particular first visual, but I still don't want to pass the category value. It means the category value should not pass. How can I do that? For that, I need to go to this drill page, D69, and I disable this keep all filters. Once I disable keep all filters, whatever you have given in drill through from, only those field values will be passed. Previously, it was enabled for those, or it is enabled as well as it is going to pass those values. Both the restriction apply on the list the fields which are available here in this drill through from. Let's go back. If I right click here and I use drill through D69, you will see the brand 2 has passed, not the category. There was a brand, there was a category, but category did not pass because of our setup. In this manner, we can restrict it. The same behavior can also be done using the drill through button. Let's go ahead and duplicate this D69. And in this one, let's enable keep all filters. The duplicate, and let's call it 269. I'll go back to D66. I have a button drill through here. It was drilling on one page. I can create that if category is filtered, go to Q69. If category is not filtered, then go to D60. That kind of a measure I can create. How do we create a measure? We can click on any of the table where we want to create a measure. So I click on the measure table, and now I can see the table tool. So once I see the table tool, inside the table tool, I have an option for new measure. I'll click on that. I click what condition I want. Based on what I will decide. I'll simply say is filtered. If the value is filtered, then go ahead and do a decision. Or take a decision when something is filtered. Choose page. If is filtered item category. If is filtered item category, then go to Q69 as go to D69. Choose page. Create a simple measure based on the filter. You're going to take a decision. Make sure the button is selected. Go to the action and click on destination. You see D69 and Q69. These are the two things we have given on the page. The name should match. Now go to the FX. You validated the page like this. Now we go click on FX. It will open a pop-up for us. In this pop-up, it is asking for field value. Means we can choose a measure here. We search for the page, choose page measure, and we click on. Let's click on the brand wise visual. The button is enabled. Control click on the button. We reach on D69. Control click back. Click on brand category visual. Click on drill through. We go to Q69. In Q69, the category is also getting filtered. That's what we decided, that it should filter the category. In the previous page, even though the category would have been filtered, we have asked it not to filter category, only filter the branch. Just for our reference again, click on brand. In the brand visual, which only contains brand, drill through D69. Go back, click on brand category visual, click on drill through Q69. So in this manner, we are able to toggle the pages based on the measure. We are able to toggle the page based on what is selected, and we can take a dynamic decision. So this is what we call dynamic drill through, a process in which you decide based on value. You can think about a scenario where you say, oh, if the selected value is brand 1, I want to go to something. If selected value is brand 2, I want to go to drill through 2. All these possibilities are there. As long as what is selected in the page is accessible to you. Now, something which is not accessible to us is basically filter inside the measure and measure itself. In such scenarios, you might not be able to take decisions. But yes, you can think about calculation group to be a little innovative in case of measures. Now you understood how powerful this feature is drill through, what exactly it means, how it can help you to provide the detailed information to your end user, and how to answer this case and various related questions like button, not passing certain set of values, and etc. along with the basic drill through. So why don't you go ahead and try out all these? The next question which you may be asked is, can I drill through from a card visual? The reason this question is asked from you is till some time back, there was no direct method to drill through from a card visual. You need to use the workaround. But that is not the situation right now. Now we have an option that we can drill through from a card visual. This question may be complicated a little bit more by asking, can we do that on the new card visual? Also, the new card visual has recently got an update of small multiples. So the question may be asked, can we drill through from a new card visual when small multiples is available? And will that small multiple information will be passed through drill through information or not? I will try to answer those things in this video, but make sure you also watch the previous videos on drill through. So your answer is yes, we can drill through from the card visual. Then how? For that, what you have to do is, when you set up the drill through for a page, so the page type is drill through page, and you will get drill through from, and in that drill through from, you add a measure. Now, when you use the same measure in a card visual, you will be able to get an option to drill through from that page. As the card visual doesn't have any group buys, you will not be able to pass value. If there are other values which are filtering, they will pass, but no categorical value will be passed from the card visual. I'm talking only of the card visual. I'm not talking if you have used some kind of small multiple. We are just talking about simple scenario. So let's go to the Power BI and try this out. So I'm here on the Power BI and let me add a new page and call this as Q70. I would like to add some drill down details. For that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this visual from the Q69 page Q69. And because there were some drill through filter on that page which has not copied to here, you are seeing the entire information. I got a visual which has brand, category, name, net, gross, margin percentage, discount percentage. I click on the empty space on this page and I got the format. If you don't have format, the way is to go to the view. Make sure the format is enabled here. On the right hand side, again, you have the format and this format pane is open. Make sure in case you don't have a format pane, you are able to get it using these details. And you go to the page information in the format pane. In the page type, choose drill through. Now it allows you to now add a drill through form. In the drill through form, you let's say go ahead and add net or gross, whatever you want. I'm adding net here. Now what we need to do is we need to go to any of the page. Let's say I'm seeing a page 4 here. In the page 4, I have this card visual which already have net. So let me right click here and now you can see drill through 270. So let me right click here. These cards which doesn't contain net, I'm not getting a through option. So only on the net, on the right click, drill through, I'm getting a drill through option. Let me click on the page Q70 and I reach on the page Q70 with all the detailed information available about the net made. So in this manner, you can drill through from a card visual. Question might come to your mind that can I drill through from the new card visual? And in new card visual, we also have a support for small multiples. Can I drill through when I have small multiples also? For that, let's add a new page. Let's call it M70, the master 70 page. And in this page, let me add a new card visual. Give it a little space. And I'll also add an old card visual just for our reference. In both these visuals, I'll add net. So as you can see on the new card visual, I have the option for small multiple. But on the old card visual, I do not have any such option. Right click on the old card visual, you can see the drill through option which we have already seen. Right click on the new card visual, we have seen drill through option. We can click and go and we are able to see the information on the drill through of new card visual also. So let's click on the back button, control click, get back on the page. Can I drill through when I have a small multiple also? Let me add brand to the small multiple. So now brand is added, brand 1, brand 2, brand 11 is available right now on my page. What I would like to do now here is basically I would like to drill through from here and go back to the same page. Am I able to see that? Right click, yes, I'm able to see the drill through option. And in this drill through now I'm able to see the previous drill through which I created on brand also. It means when the brand is there in the small multiple, I can drill through using small multiples also. But right now I'm interested in going to Q70, my page for the major drill through. So if I click on Q70, I go here on the page where I have said that you can drill through when you have a net as a measure. Net is a measure also in the new card visual with small multiples enabled right now.
As you can see, the brand information has been passed to drill through page when you have used the drill through option. The drill through page was created for a measure, but it is still able to take the values, the categorical values which has been passed from the page which is calling this page. So in this manner, the drill through page takes all the information, filtering information which is passed from the parent page unless we stop them.
In this manner, you can answer this question about the drill through. So why don't you go ahead and try out these things yourself? Thank you for taking time to watch this video. Your curiosity and quest for the knowledge are what's inspiring this series. If you have any question or topic you would like me to explore in this series, please let me know in the comments below. Your support is truly means the world to us. It's the reason we create and share these videos. If you have enjoyed this content and would like to see more, please consider liking, sharing and commenting. It helps us immensely. Until next time, keep learning and stay connected. Thank you.